So you live. So you live. So you live. So I live.
MC Benny.
Come on, East Africa.
Ha!
It's a party.
Tell them.
All right. Good morning, Africa. I hope you are all well. Yet again, my name is Sebastian. Segawa, I am Sebastian. I am the East African Community Youth Ambassador to Uganda, and I am checking in today from Kampala, Uganda. I have a couple of guests. I'll first have them introduce themselves, tell us where they're from before we proceed. Talk to us.
Ipi? Ninaospa 75. Ndio.
All right. Hans is concluding a call, I think, locally. So I will go to you, David, before we come to Kamala. David?
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning to you. How are you doing?
Yes. That start. I think the initiation song to the show. Hi. That song is. I love that song. The tune is amazing. I was all dancing here, but you cut us short, Jama. You cut us short.
That is the official You Lead song. If you want to listen more, you gotta go to the YouTube channel of You Lead Africa.
Surely. Why not? I will check it out. So yes, Molot Alan David here, the national coordinator of the African Union Youth Charter Hustlers, an initiative by the African Union Youth Envoy to mainly increase participation of youth in governance aspects, or mainly the management of the country in general, but most importantly focusing on accountability and also seeing to it that youth organize conferences around intergenerational core leadership, mainly to integrate the old leaders, the young leaders, and generate solutions around youth empowerment and development. I'm tuning in from Namugongo, Wakiso district. I will now insist on that one, not Kampala anymore. Yes, and it's good to be here today.
Right. Thank you, David. I will now go to Kamala. Kamala, how are you doing?
I'm fine, sir. How are you? Hi, everyone. Good morning. A very beautiful morning from Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. And here we find we are doing good. We're just enjoying the sunshine around Indian Ocean. Yeah, life is kawa.
Okay, it is exciting to learn that all is well in Dar es Salaam. Hans, how are you doing and where are you? Hans?
Yes.
Yeah, introduce yourself and where you're calling in, you're checking in from this morning.
I'm Hans Jr., an AC Youth Ambassador. I'm checking from Dar es Salaam.
All right. Kamala tells us that Dar es Salaam is calm, is sunny, and all well. We just need to confirm whether Kamala is telling the truth.
It's the truth.
Okay. And today we have a couple of things to talk about, but before we go there, we have one of our own who has been far from us for a couple of days. Hello, Clem. Clem, can you hear us? All right, we shall be touching base with Clem, but just to share with you this morning, we are going to be discussing a couple of different topics, and I'll be borrowing the mind of my colleagues here in studio to check in on what they think is happening. Good morning, team, all the way from Kenya. We see you, Mbakulo. Thank you for joining in. We would like to know which part of Kenya are you from, and what's the situation there. And while at it, I just want to reiterate that we are still celebrating the election in Zambia. Zambia was a very calm place, and I think one thing you guys didn't know, or one thing that Kamala has never told you, is that Kamala has been for quite some time now the chairperson of the SADC Youth Forum. No, Youth Parliament, right? Kamala, am I right?
Yeah.
Yes, and because Zambia is part of SADC, I've been having bilaterals with Kamala, I think yesterday and the other day, and his excitement about that election. And he's been telling me that SADC is now setting pace for the rest of the African regions to benchmark on how elections can go. There were a couple of photos that were making rounds recently, and these photos were showing the former president, or let me say the president that lost the election, and the incoming president shaking hands and, very happy with each other, showing that all is well. And this is very exciting for us young people of
Yeah.
Africa to know that. And I know that there are some parts of Africa where it is unheard of. You can't be an opposition who wins an election and the incumbent is happy to have you. But that has been the situation in Zambia, and we are really, really excited for that. I love that the former president, he lost an election and he has shown very good character and very, very great leadership on that end. And Ruth Ogola, Ruth is part of the East African Community Youth Ambassadors Platform. Youth is in Nairobi, and she says good morning, and she says she's following. You're most welcome, Ruth. And before we proceed, I just want another of our people to introduce themselves. We have Beatrice. Beatrice, do you hear us? We just want you to introduce yourself. Great. Introduce yourself. Tell us where you're from and what is happening there. Also, guys, I really, really need to emphasize that you need to turn on your videos when you come to studio because we want to see you.
I had a feeling
Yeah,
you would
bring her.
that right now.
Bring her.
All right, Beatrice and Clem, please turn on your videos.
Okay, now that you forced me to turn on my video, just 1 second.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. Good morning, and my name is Beatrice Marandu. I am part of the Lead Africa team as one of the regional programs associates, supporting in program development and coordination. I'm tuning in from the cold Arusha in Tanzania. Guys, this weather is not for the faint-hearted.
Okay. So Tanzania has that extremity that Dar es Salaam is always extremely hot, and Arusha is like the North Pole of the world.
Absolutely.
All right. Clem, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Excuse me, let me put on my video. Hold on for a second.
All right.
Oh, there we are. Hello,
Hey.
everyone.
Hi, how are you? We are excited to hear where you're calling in from and what's happening there.
Oh, sure. Good morning. I am tuning in from Virginia. So what's happening here? We're experiencing.
Is it just me, or she broke for a moment?
It's unstable a bit, but you can hear her here and there.
Okay.
Should I go over again?
Sure.
There you go.
Now? Okay. Good morning. I am tuning in from Harrisonburg, Virginia. And what's happening here is, well, changes in the weather, I guess, experiencing storms since Sunday, but we're surviving. Nothing bad as of yet. Yeah, I am excited to be here this morning.
All right. You've been far gone from us here at the check-in. We are excited that you're back. And David, who is now the Lone Ranger of people who do not have videos on, says that he has big challenges with his connectivity. We shall excuse him, although that's been his excuse since forever. I don't know why David thinks we are going to keep tolerating that excuse. But anyway, so a couple of things happening across the world. We've just been celebrating the Zambian election. I just want to borrow Kamala's mind on that. The Zambian election. As a SADC youth leader, what do you make of it?
Man, we are so happy. I can tell because even now and then when it comes election in Africa, it's like everyone is like, oh God, how are we going to finish this? And what's happened in Zambia was actually it was
interesting. Kamala dropped midway his sentence, but okay. Prince Mayonda, morning family watching from Zambia. Woo!
I think, is it Seba's internet or ours now?
I think now it's Seba. I'm not sure what's happening with everyone's internet.
Oof.
I think the excitement took him off.
Absolutely. And I think I was tuning in a bit on the conversation of, the elections that happened in Zambia. And I think it would be nice to hear from someone who's tuning in from there. Just one or two things.
Yeah.
And I know Kamala was giving his inputs. I don't know who's on the tech team to support to bring Prince on, just so we can hear, his thoughts on the election and the excitement that they have with the ongoing.
True. I see Sebastian is back.
Karibu.
It was me who had dropped.
Hey.
Yeah, sure.
I was just suggesting that it would be nice to hear from someone on ground about the elections and their thoughts on the process and whatnot, since we have Prince tuning in from Zambia.
All right. So Prince, we have shared a link. Just tap it. This is the link that is it's in the comment section. Just tap it and come into studio with us. And we also have Kamala. Kamala, you dropped while you were midway the word Zambia.
should I proceed?
Please.
Okay. So I think as a part of SciOf team, it was our expectation that we would see young people participating in election and actually peaceful election, because we have experienced most of the time when it's election time in Africa, there is a lot of unknown situation that's going to happen, what's going to happen after election. And there was a bit suggestions in most of the countries that we don't need to conduct election because it's just like wastage of time and people don't feel like when they vote, their votes matters. But then Zambia.
Okay, I think Kamala dropped for a moment there. While we wait on Prince to join us, Prince, if you're unable to join, we shall appreciate if you drop a missive of what is happening in Zambia in our chat box here. We shall be happy to read it for everyone that is following. But while we are celebrating what is happening in Zambia, I just want to know, you guys, what is making it for you? Yeah, what is making your week? Because for me, I on Monday we were discussing the fall of Kabul and how the Taliban took over. And I was telling you that uh, we were interested in it because of the effects it's going to have on the rest of the world, specifically through taking of precedence for upholding human rights, and then the gender question, you know, their reaction towards women and girls that were going to school and were going to work. They asked them to stay home. And the last I heard, I think, is that they had ordered the men to go and marry four of those women and take over whatever they had worked for. Very sad conversations coming in from there. But then, in the wake of yesterday, the situation changed, because then there was a refugee influx spillover to Africa, and specifically to Uganda. Apparently, our government that has been a champion of hosting refugees, but the refugees we've been hosting have been, you know, around our geopolitical environment, from DRC, from Sudan, from Somalia. But now we are going to have about 2,000 Afghans that will be flown into you. They actually touched down in Entebbe yesterday in the evening, and are going to be kept first, I think, in our international stadium here. They are already making makeshifts home for them, while they plan on a way that is going to sustain them. And definitely, we all know that refugees do not come or do not move for 1 week or 3 weeks. Their plan is usually 5 years and onwards. So that being said, I just want to borrow your minds, my colleagues, on what you think of the situation, that should these refugees be accommodated. Of course, for those of you who are going to complain about the cost issue, I know that the American government requested the Ugandan government, and it will be that the Americans that will be paying for the costs of having them here. But still, we need to gravely interrogate that should nations, and I know the United Nations too is already advocating for other countries to openly accept these refugees. But now the big question is, should we really always wait for these countries and these bodies that have actually the power to intervene or even to stop such atrocities to be the ones advocating for where the victims should go and all that? But before we go into that, we have Franklin. Franklin, we want to know how you're doing. We already know from your dress code that Arusha must be freezing, but
Yeah. Hey, Arusha is crazy. It's not like where our sister Clement says she must be enjoying plus 30 degrees.
No, no more. It's changing already. It's raining for past couple of days, so.
Hey, okay. But yeah, Arusha is a little cold today. I brought out my warmest collection jacket. There it is, complete with a hat in case things get worse. Yeah, but yeah, wonderful conversations happening there. Of course, when you speak about what's happening in Afghanistan, I think you cannot put a value to life. So credit to Uganda for leading by example, opening up its borders, its home to the 2,000 Afghan refugees. And I think there is definitely a need for other African countries to show the lead and say, hey, we can definitely support, we can be a global partner when it comes to peace, security, and the value that is attached to human life. So yeah, credit to Uganda, and who knows, probably in the next 5 or 10 years, this would be the beginning of an Afghan ethnic group in Uganda. You never know.
I know Kamala has an opinion there. Kamala, please weigh in.
But you know, in Uganda is receiving everyone. We have seen there is Waima in those days, and then they comes into South Sudan, Sudanese, and then now we are getting the Somalians, and then Afghan. Man, like yesterday I was discussing with my boys. They asked me like, how much is the transport from Dar es Salaam to Kampala? Maybe we can just meet to Brad. So the integration comes in different ways. Eh? And they come with different knowledge because I never know what they're doing in Afghanistan, but we can learn if we are producing the massive weapons. Their brains, they are so you can have one. You understand? And then I think their culture is something new. I never experienced that will happen one day in Uganda or in East Africa. But then it's time for us to learn and to see what are we going to benefit from them. Are they going to come with industrial production? I know they're living in a difficult land. How do they survive there? So I think there is a way of learning a lot of things from them. But also, I don't know the situation of the people in Uganda. How do they take it? But for us who are in, for example, in Tanzania, yesterday we had a discussion on social media, and one of the guys in social media says, um, you never know what God is thinking about Africa. What will be the next Africa? If we have the Black Americans, we can have even the African in Uganda. So, yeah, it's good for the president of Uganda. I know he's always caring for the people and see the humanity. Yeah.
Yes, and while we are at it, Namara didn't tell us where he's tuning in from. He's from Uganda. Namara says, but the question is, what impact does accepting the refugees have on the COVID-19 situation? Of course, you do not take Kamala's need for integration to convince you that the refugees are going to be living in the open. No, they are going to be condoned off in Nambole Stadium, and there will be an isolated community. Of course, they will be given all the necessities. I have already told you, I have had the privilege of dropping by Nambole earlier today, and they're already making makeshift homes for them. So they are going to be in their community alone. And of course, you know that they are already measures for people who come into the country. I don't know whether the Afghans are going to be subjected to the COVID test, whether they were subjected to the COVID test at the entry point, that is the airport. But I know for a fact that they are all going to be screened for the virus. And those that will be found with the virus, again, will be put to treatment because, I mean, you can't save them from gunshots only for them to die as soon as they get to their safe haven. So I think the situation will be well handled. They're not going to mix with the population. So for colleagues in Uganda and in the rest of the world where these refugees are coming, do not be worried. Do not spread negative narratives about saving lives because it's the 21st century and we have known now that you could be a refugee any day. So and for me, this is my problem, that if we have the capacity, and I will keep repeating it, if we have the capacity and the knowledge to go to the moon and tour, I don't know why then we cannot have the capacity or the will to stop challenges that then affect actual people. Because there were very sad scenes. I don't want to play that video for people here, but I know, for example, that you guys might have seen it, where people held on to that American Air Force plane and were falling off the plane about 100 meters high up. I mean, why should we reach to a point where someone holds onto a plane that is taking off only for them to die because of the need to run to safety? Although that measure of holding onto the plane was clearly ill-advised, but I don't think that our world should reach a position like that. But anyway, Franklin, before you came in, we were here heavily celebrating the elections in Zambia. And I was personally saying that someone made a joke on Twitter that, this is the current president who lost the election shaking, knocking elbows with a incoming president. And then the person said, in my country, the winner would be in cuffs and in jail, and and the loser would probably be petitioning the electoral commission to do a recount, which then would turn to see them as winners. And I've been hailing Kamala and the young people of the SADC community, specifically those from Zambia. And I know we have Prince Mayonda here, who says he's tuning in from Zambia. We were congratulating them on going to the polls and make their decisions hard, but also congratulating the former president for showing great leadership, because also acceptance of the will of the people, in my opinion, is another show of a great leadership trait. But anyway, for now, Hans, you have been quite silent. Can you hear us? Hans? Great. You have been rather silent. I just wanted to borrow your mind on one of the topics we have been discussing here today. Hans seems a little distracted. Okay. Going on, I just wanted to make a few important announcements. I will have Clemence.
Probably just before the announcements.
Yes.
I just want to echo what you've mentioned. It's not easy. In Africa, I was reading a statistic that Hakainde, the incumbent president of Zimbabwe, is the first opposition candidate in 2 years in Africa to win an election. So that means he has achieved something that is very difficult, and even the manner in which the outgoing president has handled himself is something that African countries and African democracies should emulate. So just to add that, he's the first president in 2 years in the entire Africa from the opposition.
See that? And I think that also should give hope to the young people out there who want to run for the top seat in their different countries, that it is now possible. Do not feel like you are pressed against the wall. But it is also important to note that when you read through the history of the president that won the elections, the president-elect, is that he has been on the ballot for a couple of times, which also goes to say that failure the first time or the second or the fifth for his case is not the end of the world. That every time you fall down, there is a lesson to learn, and always pick up, learn the lesson, and continue going through. But all right, so we have two important announcements to make. One is about the usual suspect gig that happens here at Untitled Africa, and that is the Unplugged Series. The Unplugged Series is back and big tomorrow, but before I share details of what is happening on the Unplugged tomorrow, I'll have Clemence make a simple announcement. And the announcement definitely revolves around the rebranding of the ESC Youth Ambassadors platform. And then Clem will tell you, our dear viewers, what is up for grab. And she will tell you why the decision was made to bring this competition to the young people, and probably not to go to someone that is already established to do the work we want to do. Clem, over to you.
Okay. Thank you. So ours is a very simple but exciting announcement. We are rebranding the East African Youth Ambassadors logo. And instead of, going to a graphic designer, we are opening this to the East African youth in general. And the idea is we want to have the input of either people who have been ambassadors or who aspire to become youth ambassadors in the region to take part to, the type of youthful branding materials that they wish to see. So it is open to everyone to go ahead and submit your logo. There's a little bit of interruption. Okay. And all we ask is that you follow the East African community branding colors, of course, the logo that is already there. So it would be nice to see those colors being reflected. But please go ahead and be as creative as you want. Express the Youth Ambassadors logo in a way that you want, be it expressing it with an animal, expressing it with words. Go ahead and just be as creative as you want. And what we have for grabs is we have a prize of up to $500, and we'll be opening up a slot to the ULIT Summit 2021. And that is up for grabs. So please submit your logos. We are very excited to see what you think the East African Youth Ambassadors logo should look like, and also want to have our winner with us during the ULIT 2021 summit. If there's anything that I may have forgotten to talk about, Sebastian will definitely pinch more.
No. I think you did great. Very many people have been excited about the ULIT 2021 summit, and they have been excited about getting the link for registration. I know Franklin is going to tell us about how far that is and when we should expect the link, because Franklin is the head of that docket. But before even the link comes out, Clem already has a slot for grab for one of you out there. I don't know, Clem, I have my skills of branding. Am I also eligible?
We'll talk about that later. I just want to give the opportunity to everyone else. So you're already a youth ambassador. I want to see what everyone else in the region is really thinking. So please, people, go ahead and be as creative as possible. We are very excited to see your submission.
All right. And of course, more guidance is going to come both on the East African Community Youth Ambassadors Platform social media pages and on the ULIT social media pages. We're going to be sharing with you what you need to do, where to send this logo, and how long you have to send in the logo. And like Clem has said, $500 cash for the winner, and then a fully paid trip to the ULIT Summit 2021. And while we speak of the ULIT Summit, Franklin, we are happy to have you again today. And the question has been, when do we apply? When is the link coming? So
yeah,
Franklin will give us a timeline now. We have the right man in the building.
Yeah. Let me just mention it that Sebastian is he's also aware of this process. He's aware, of course. The ULI director Ivan, who actually shares our name with Sebastian, is pushing, and he's also overseeing this delicate process, because the submission is going to happen through a dedicated portal. So that portal has been undergoing refurbishment and optimization all through the years, and we hope this year it will be even better. We received feedback from last year in terms of the applications coming in. Sometimes it was dropping. And so we hope that at least by end of this month or beginning of September, the portal will have been tested, optimized, and so we are looking at least by first week of September when the call will go out. So let us just keep our pass on that, and we promise that at least first week of September there'll be something out so that young people from across Africa and the diaspora can apply to be part of ULIT Summit 2021. Back to you, Sebastian.
All right. Thank you. And yes, Clem.
One detail. This is me coming back again to encourage everyone to also register for the virtual summit. Again, we are in a global pandemic. It's not easy to host everyone in Arusha, but I promise that the experience is as equally satisfying and gratifying whether you or online. So if you know that it will be challenging for you to attend the summit physically, just go ahead and register to be part of the online virtual summit. Like me, I believe we're going to have a lot of fun and we are all going to benefit the same way as the people who will be in Arusha attending the summit physically. Thank you.
Okay. So yes, I've kept mentioning that Clem here is going to be the president of the virtual viewers, and that's why you see she's relentless on calling in. But it is also important to note that this year, ULEAD Summit is going Africa. So that means that it's not limited to any region. Provided you are in Africa, you are welcome to register and be part of the experience. Yes, yes, Clem?
I'm saying absolutely. We really want to have everyone here with us, and as much as we recognize that, and the quality content and good discussions and conversations will be held during the summit. We don't want anyone to miss out, so you may consider registering to be part of the virtual. Wow.
All right. And then for our last announcement, it's about the Unplugged series. And you know, for those of you who didn't know, we always have the Unplugged series every Thursday. It should be a plot you guys are looking forward to. Every Thursday at 7 p.m. we have the Unplugged series, and this is a segment where we host different people. We have young people who are in politics, who are in business, who are passionate about different things. And the Unplugged series comes on different topics. I know, for example, that last week we had very interesting conversations around food security and food systems, and we had panelists from West Africa. And this week, we are having conversations around youth for climate action, and we have panelists from Kenya. And this is the most interesting thing about one of the panelists. Tomorrow, we are having a 15-year-old, Rahma. You see the lady on the poster, she is 15, and she is doing climate action work in Kenya, in Kisumu. So you want to watch wherever you are in Africa, you want to tune in tomorrow for the Youth for Climate Change. And today, I know that in studio we have a man who has been given a mandate of spreading the word on climate change, David Emolot. And David, I hope you will be the first one to register for this for this Unplugged series, because then we shall need to hear your voice. Yeah, Kemi was with us the other day on Monday for our check-in, and she heard about you and your work in the climate change. But anyway, for everyone out there, make sure that every Thursday you have a date with us for the Unplugged series. And if you want to register, we have on our social media posts. The post is already up, the one I've shared here. You just need to go to it. There is a link, and then you can join, register. You will get a reminder and the link to the Zoom session for this series. But even those that do not get an opportunity to directly engage with the Unplugged series through registration, it will still be live on all our social media pages. I know that Clem and I are usually victims of catching it live on our Facebook feed, and it is always an exciting experience. You share your photos, and then the host Kemi will ensure that the panelists receive them. But for now, we are 39 minutes in, and that's all the time we had for our check-in. I will just request our panelists, the colleagues that have been in studio today, to just say goodbye to us. And I'll start with Hans. Hans, just say goodbye, but you need to say goodbye in your local language. But before you say goodbye in your local language, I've been always curious.
Goodbye in my local language, we just say Chola Mwaka.
Is that Swahili?
No.
Which
It
language
is
is that?
Chaga.
Chaga. Okay. What do you say?
Chilomwaka.
All right. The next time I'm saying goodbye, I'm doing it in Chaga. David, come show off. You usually speak 8 languages at a go.
No, I'm showing off. But just briefly, you talked about maybe the Afghan refugees, but maybe a bit context that in the Second World War, Uganda hosted, I think, about 7,000 Polish refugees. And it's not the first time we're hosting foreign refugees, maybe from either Europe or Arabia. So Uganda is a bit of a host community. And again, of course, Serbia, the US also requested Serbia and I think Kosovo to host some of the refugees, and I think those countries are also taking it up. Nonetheless, I should say asanteni sana tuonane, I think next week. Yala manoi, let's see each other, I think, next week. Asante sana.
Okay, I'll come to you, Kamala.
Thank you, everyone who has joined us. I say, Siabonga, Sabanane, and kwaheri ya kuonana mpaka wiki ijayo.
Okay. Kamala, what languages have you spoken? I've never heard you speak some of these things. Also, our viewers, Kamala knows all the languages in the East African community, and I'm now convinced he even knows those of SADC. So I'm curious to know which language did you speak?
Those are the Zulu and Tswana.
See that? See that? All right, Kamala, we are always happy to hear from you. Clem, I will come to you.
All right. So today I know that the last time I did say goodbye to Miranda, so let's embrace the French side and say au revoir, bonjour.
Okay. All right. Okay. I keep threatening to come back here knowing very many languages, but one day, just one day, I will make two of my threats. I will make two of my threats. But all right, thank you so much, Africa. And I agree with David that Uganda has over the years proven to be a hospitable country, both through people who come to visit us as tourists, but even offering a helping hand to those that have had challenges at their home, and we host them here as refugees. And I also agree that very many countries are going to be hosting Afghans that are on the run. I know that UK and then some other countries have also opened their doors to it. And my call again is to all countries to make sure that these people can have a good stay. They have already suffered so much. Very many kids are orphaned, and it is only fair that they have a decent place at least to stay for the next couple of days or even years. But for now, for us from ULEAD Africa and from the East African community, Youth Ambassadors platform, we say that thank you so much for joining us, and look out for the two things, the Unplugged series tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. It will still be live on this very channel you are watching on. So if you're on YouTube, it will be live on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, it will find you there. On Twitter, it will. But also for those who want to have a more hands-on engagement, a Zoom link is available. Just scroll through our posts here, and then you can always sign up and be part of the live audience in the Zoom link if you want to be live on any of the social media platforms. But in conclusion, the East African Community platform is also looking to rebrand. Clemence has told you that an award of $500 is already available, and a fully paid trip to the ULEAD Summit is also made available. So please take on the opportunity, and it is specific to only young people, the youth, and because it is the East African Community Youth Ambassadors platform, it is unfortunately also unique to the youth of East African community. So if you are out there and you know that you are very good and you're tech savvy, please take on the challenge. We are going to share a post this evening with the details, but already Clem has told you can get to work because you watch the check-in, you can already get to work. You know that all you need to consider is the colors of the East African community, and then blow your mind all over. Just get anything you think that can represent young people as the Youth Ambassadors platform logo and put it together. We shall have a panel of people selecting it. Definitely, we shall have someone professional in the field of infographics. We shall have officials from the East African Community Secretariat. We shall also have some of the East African Community Youth Ambassadors. Part of that panel that we'll be choosing. But for now,